Zijn boek Zwaarden, paarden en ziektekiemen is een mega-bestseller. De Amerikaanse hoogleraar Jared Diamond legt daarin uit hoe geografische en materiële omstandigheden leiden tot de technologische en politieke overmacht van het Westen. En dat dat niks te maken heeft met de superioriteit van het ene ras boven het andere. Jared Diamond denkt in hele lange termijnen, duizenden jaren. En als je zo denkt, is terrorisme helemaal geen probleem. Maar de vernietiging van het milieu en de opkomst van allerlei nieuwe virussen wel. Diamonds nieuwe boek gaat Collapse heten, over de ondergang van beschavingen. Jan Eikelboom sprak met de professor.
Will our modern society collapse? We have an expression in English, up for grabs. Meaning we don't know. It's not certain that things will get worse. On the other hand, if we don't make an effort, it is certain that things will get worse.
Hij wil zichzelf geen pessimist noemen, maar gerust is de wereldberoemde Amerikaanse fysioloog Jared Diamond er ook niet op. Terwijl alle aandacht uitgaat naar de oorlog tegen de terreur, wordt de wereld volgens hem door veel grotere problemen bedreigd.
Terrorists in the United States killed 2,998 people in World Trade Center, but that still leaves 270 million Americans. For the future of the world, I am not worried about terrorists. In the short run, terrorists will kill people, yeah. But in the long run, what I'm worried about are problems of environment and population, because those are the only problems that can do in all of us or reduce the standard of living for all of us.
For all of us?
For all of us, for everybody in the world.
Diamond voorziet binnen enkele decennia het einde van de beschaving. Door klimaatverandering, ontbossing, overbevissing, tekort aan drinkwater. In totaal 12 problemen die acuut moeten worden aangepakt.
People often make the mistake of saying, Jared, what is the most important problem that we have to solve? And the answer is the most important problem we have to solve is to stop trying to find the one most important problem that we have to solve. Because there are about 12 problems, all of which we have to solve.
And it's only a few decades left?
Yeah, all of these, the rate at which we're going, all of these things are that all of them, either we solve them in the next several decades, or they will solve themselves in unpleasant ways. For example, if the world runs out of fish, at the rate we're going now, the world's remaining major fisheries will be overexploited within the next decade or couple of decades. But about 2 billion of the world's 6 billion people depend upon fish for their protein.
But can a society as civilized as this one really collapse and really go down?
Societies in the past have collapsed. What can happen now is the worst case scenario would be a real collapse, such as already happened to great societies in the past. When the Maya were at their peak, or when Fertile Crescent society was at its peak, it seemed impossible that those societies would collapse. But one of the generalizations one learns from history is that societies rise, and the collapses tend to be steep. They collapse soon after they reach their peak of power, because the peak of power is also when they're making the greatest impact on the environment.
Is there enough awareness?
No, there's not. There's enough awareness on the part of some people, but there's not enough awareness on the part of all people, especially politicians. The problem with politicians is that, especially in democracies, politicians are focused on winning the next election. In the United States, we have an expression, 90-day mentality. That's to say, politicians are concerned only with those problems that will produce a disaster in the next 90 days. And they don't feel the leisure to be concerned about more long-range problems. George W. Bush lacks a long-term focus, or insofar he has a long-term focus, it's what we would call a perverse, a damaging long-term focus. Namely, the policy of the American government at the moment is anti-environment. The present administration has rolled back measures to protect the environment. In many respects, protection of forests, no. Protection of the Alaska refuge, no. Restrictions on damage done by coal mining, no. The American government is worse than doing nothing at the moment. It's doing positively bad things for the long term. I'm not a pessimist. I'm not an optimist. I would describe myself as a cautious optimist, meaning that if we make an effort, we can solve our problems. But we have to make an effort, otherwise we won't solve our problems.
Still not too late to turn back the clock.
Exactly. It is not too late. But we have to start working to solve these problems already yesterday.